That's not gonna be good. Do you like your old school hard as nail shooters? Does Duke Nukem take himself a bit too seriously for your tastes? Do you want something over the top and ridiculous? Then Serious Sam, the first encounter, is waiting for you. The guns are absurd, the enemies even more so, and the world around them, triply so. Don't make the music speed up. Oh god, no. Not again. The story, as best as I can piece together, goes like this. The world has been taken over by aliens, so they sent the best soldier ever, Serious Sam, back in time to ancient Egypt. Not so ancient that the Egyptians are still there and alive, but far enough back to defeat the alien threat before it ever happened. He's sent to Egypt because a different group of good aliens helped the Egyptians, and gave them the power to call them back. With that power, Sam calls back the good aliens, who will give him the power to defeat the general of the bad aliens. Even though Egypt may be devoid of Egyptians, it's full of aliens. Scorpions with machine guns replacing an arm, charging demon creatures, flying harpies, and multi-armed monstrosities. There are even enslaved humans risen from the dead to battle Sam. The movement and responses from the guns feels amazing. And this game absolutely nails being incredibly difficult, but also giving you that feeling that you're making a little more progress. I could see a new challenge the game wanted me to overcome, and responded with, no. No way they can want me to do that! I'd die over and over, reloading, always feeling like I'm making a little more progress. My skills improved, I would overcome that challenge, and I felt like there was nothing more insane the game could throw at me. And then, without fail... Ah, he destroyed it! By the end of the game, you're completing challenges you never would have imagined. The only time the game did a poor job of expressing what I was supposed to be doing was right at the ending. You're supposed to run away until you're supposed to turn and fight. Then you have to jump through rings while going back and running away, and then jumping through the last one at only the right time to lure the final boss into the middle. When you finally overcome every challenge the game has to throw at you, I couldn't help but want to go back in and start again with my newfound ability. Crow Team perfectly nailed the balance in such a beautiful way. Another thing that was nailed was atmosphere and environment. The Egyptian theme is not one I see very often, and I always love to see it again. It's a style of architecture that stands apart from what we tend to find in other games, and that adds to the alien feeling. Even when design is standard, like an open coliseum, it feels different thanks to the trappings of that ancient world. Secrets did feel a little too secret sometimes, but that tends to be the style for shooters of that era. You're just supposed to interact with walls for no reason, without any hint, and lo and behold, you shall find a secret. There would still be plenty of secrets that were just hidden behind the right camera angle or noticing a beam that could be jumped on to get somewhere unexpected, and those really made you feel rewarded for keeping your eyes open too. One of my favorite moments in the game unfortunately got deleted, but I still wanted to express it and share it with you. There's a part of the game where you cross a panel on the floor and it slides backwards to reveal a pit of instantly lethal spikes beneath, trapping you in a long corridor with towering walls. As you make your way down, seeing nothing, the ground shakes as a few bulls round the corner. By now you're used to the enemy, and take them out without a moment's thought. Then a few more stampede around, and the shaking grows stronger even as you fight them. Glancing around the corner, you see a line of skeletal bulls charging, and a row behind them, and another behind them until the ground is blotted out with sun-bleached bodies. A never-ending stampede of the dead, here to make sure that your time is not pleasant. I tried to strafe, I tried to run, I just wasn't good enough to do this. I thought there was no way I was really intended to do it, and I ran. But back at the start of the area, still waiting for me, was the pit of spikes. But there was a small area at the edge of everything. Maybe I could jump it. I jumped desperately, death after death, onto the spikes until I figured out how to make it back. Turning back around, I laughed at the horde pressed against the pit, their unyielding charge pushing allies into the pit before they could stop themselves. I began to shoot, knocking more into the pit with every bullet released. I was smarter than the game. And then the pit slid closed. For a brief moment, time stood still as the horde and I stared each other down. I was reminded that I had not outsmarted anything as the hooves trampled me to my death. Don't be clever, be better. I tell this story because in any other game, I think this is probably where my playthrough would have ended. For the game to let me feel smart deliberately for just long enough that putting me back in my place underneath it would be even more brutal, would normally be a mark of an arrogant, self-obsessed Deb. And usually it would just be another issue that would stack on top of all of the others, and it would just be the issue that was big enough to make me put the game down, quit playing, and go start writing something really fun and ranty. But somehow Crow Team knew exactly how to make me grit my teeth in frustration, swear and moan, but keep playing until I pushed through and overcame. And it's a work of art that I rarely get to experience. This was an incredible game, and I cannot wait for when I play the sequel in a now newly beloved series to me.